In Hamlet, there's a scene shortly after the actors have come to Elsinore where Hamlet is dispatching Polonius to see the actors to their quarters, and he warns the old man, "Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you were better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live." I was reading Cyberfrog Dark Harvest, and it occurred to me that in its allegory, Cyberfrog is the abstract and brief chronicle of the time. The abstract and brief chronicle of a very frightening time in American pop culture, in American culture, when there was a very authoritarian view towards dissent and contrary viewpoints. Now, we've known for some time that Cyberfrog is an allegory for that period. And reading it, and I'm particularly talking about the dialogue of the Vespis. Reading brand new Vespis dialogue made me recoil in horror, thinking about the time that we all have passed through. I'm not saying we're on the other side of it. I think elements of that era will be with us for quite a while. But we can view that period, and let's say 2017 through 2023-24. We can view that era with some distance now. And years from now, decades from now, future generations will wonder, what was this time like? What was that time like? A time when artists were afraid to speak. A time when the term gets so overused now that it's almost a cliche, but a time when cancel culture, a culture of canceling people, erasing them, like that snapshot of Stalin with the guy beside him who just is gone. What was it like to live through that time? And a very real and legit response to that would be read Cyberfrog, read Bloodhoney, Wrecked Planet, Dark Harvest. It is the brief and abstract chronicle of the time. I also want to talk about the book itself and the story itself, because I'm hosting a show right now called Friday Night Frights with Peter Gilmore, C.G. Pete Callan, Harry Talbot, 6x6 on Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Peter Gilmore's channel. It's the greatest fucking show in the whole wide world. But I'm co-hosting a horror show now. So it makes me more attuned to horror. I'm viewing everything through that prism these days. And I was very struck by the horror element in Dark Harvest. It is legitimately ghastly. Now, the horror is not new to this world or to this franchise. When I was giving out copies of Blood Honey to friends, family, relatives, my grandsons, I did factor the horror element of Blood Honey based on the age of the person I was gifting a copy to, because the scene with the girl in the Pine Barrens getting filled up with to bursting with Blood Honey is something that does have a jarring and a visceral and a frightening impact. So the horror element's not new to this franchise, but I was keenly aware of it like I haven't been keenly aware before in Dark Harvest. I when I was a young man, I had two great phobias. I was morbidly afraid of spiders, and I was morbidly afraid of being buried alive. So when I went to the movie theater to see Wes Craven's The Serpent and the Rainbow, I practically shit my fucking pants because both those phobias intersect in one horrible scene where Bill Pullman is put in a coffin, paralyzed, he can't move, and then just for good measure they put a friggin' tarantula on his face. Now, those were the phobias that a young man has. As I've gotten older, I have two phobias now that are a little more, maybe a hint more cerebral than spiders. Two things that just give me shivers now are the thought of dying helplessly, the thought of being paralyzed but conscious while something is done to you that ends you, or being in some sort of hypnotic trance where you have no chance of fighting back. I guess a good example of the former would be like that scene in Anaconda where the guy's paralyzed and the big snake is coming at him and all he can do is just sit there and watch the snake come up to him and then swallow him head first. That to me is horrifying. The other great, maybe phobia is the wrong word, but a revulsion is the thought of being consumed, or even worse, being kept alive as sort of a blood bag. And in the same way that Wes Craven, master of horror, managed to blend my two childhood phobias together in Serpent and the Rainbow, Ethan has really wedded these two more mature, I won't call them phobias, I'll call them revulsions. These two more mature revulsions in Dark Harvest, because the whole dying helplessly thing has always been a backdrop because of what the Vespis do about, deadening or what's the word I'm looking for? Anesthetizing, weakening their a planet before they go to conquer it. That's always been the backdrop, but here, it happens with Lily. It happens with a lot of different people. The Vespis, they hypnotize you. They put you in a trance. They deaden your will to fight. And that touches on my horror. Then, of course, what are these humans being kept alive for? Oh, by the way, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't read it. I don't think I've given anything away. But it's right there in the first book, Blood Honey. They convert the blood to make honey for their young. So we get to see that more up close and personal. And what it would be like to be kept alive for that purpose. So I hope I didn't spoil anything. Those are my thoughts about Dark Harvest. The first thought is that, man, it just continues the chronicle of this really bizarre, insane period of American history that we all lived through. It's kind of like COVID. COVID seems insane now that we have a little distance from it. So there was that thought, and then just a very deep and rich appreciation for the horror that's on display. Dark Harvest, just a great read, it's being billed as Cyberfrog 2.9. It's the bridge between Wrecked Planet and Red Extermination. It is a necessary bridge. Anyone who's thinking that it's an extra or one of those supplemental books that comes out where you will have your enjoyment of the main book enhanced by reading the supplement, but it's not necessary. Yeah, get that out of your mind. This is an essential connecting step between books 2 and books 3. Dark Harvest, good, scary